In life, relationships often serve as reflections of our inner worlds, and they can be the foundation of our joys, growth, and resilience. But sometimes, those connections aren't what they appear to be. Sometimes, they become sources of frustration, confusion, and hurt. Among the most difficult kinds of relationships to navigate are those with people who view others as nothing more than tools for their own benefit. A person with this mindset, one who uses others without truly caring about them, can cause deep emotional harm, leaving those around them feeling drained, devalued, and disillusioned. But what lies behind such an attitude? What drives a person to consistently prioritize their own needs while disregarding the well-being of others? To understand these behaviors, it's crucial to recognize the characteristics that define someone who uses people as a means to an end. This type of individual operates with a set of attitudes and behaviors that often go unnoticed at first, masked behind a facade of charm, friendliness, or even vulnerability. Yet, with time, patterns emerge, exposing an unsettling reality. These people often have little to no regard for the feelings, desires, or boundaries of those around them. They are strategic in their interactions, viewing relationships through a transactional lens, wherein each connection is assessed for what it can provide. One of the first indicators of this attitude is the person's superficiality in communication. At the surface level, they may appear genuinely interested, asking questions or showing attentiveness, but their interest is typically shallow, only going as deep as necessary to glean what they need. Genuine curiosity about another person, their dreams, struggles, or happiness is absent. Their focus lies not in the substance of the relationship, but in the benefits they can extract from it. This becomes clear when conversations always pivot back to their own needs, or when they dismiss or minimize the experiences of others if those experiences don't serve their agenda. Another key trait is their inconsistent behavior, particularly when it comes to providing support. They may initially be very giving, showing up in times of need, offering a listening ear, or lending a hand, but this is often only temporary. Once they feel secure in their place in your life, their attentiveness wanes. If the person being used faces a problem that doesn't directly affect the user or fails to serve the user's interests, they may withdraw their support entirely. This selective empathy creates a toxic cycle. The person being used feels indebted to the other, hoping that their own generosity and kindness will someday be reciprocated. But in truth, the person who only uses others rarely returns the favor, leaving a trail of unfulfilled expectations and broken trust. Another telltale sign of a person who uses others is a chronic lack of accountability. In their world, mistakes are rarely, if ever, their fault. If a situation doesn't unfold in their favor, they're quick to blame external factors or even the people around them, never pausing to consider how their own actions may have contributed to the outcome. This lack of responsibility creates an environment where those close to them are subtly manipulated into constantly accommodating their needs, forgiving their shortcomings, and bearing the weight of the relationship. Manipulation is a crucial tool in their arsenal. A person who doesn't genuinely care about others is often highly skilled at reading emotional cues and leveraging them to their advantage. They may use flattery, guilt, or even feigned vulnerability to pull people closer when it benefits them. For instance, they might compliment someone excessively to earn their favor or express fake remorse when caught in the act of selfish behavior. This manipulation can be so subtle that it goes unnoticed until a pattern forms, often only becoming apparent after repeated disappointments and broken promises. People who care deeply and want to believe in the good in others are particularly susceptible to this kind of manipulation. Their kindness, optimism, and willingness to see the best in others can be weaponized by someone who seeks only to exploit those qualities. Over time, the behaviors of a person who uses others begin to drain those around them. Interactions become increasingly one-sided. The emotional labor and investment required to maintain the relationship fall disproportionately on the person being used. The user expects attention, praise, favors, and assistance, but when the other person requires anything in return, they receive silence or, worse, excuses. The imbalance can lead to feelings of worthlessness and self-doubt in the person who is being used. They may begin to question their own value, wondering if they're asking for too much or if they're not worthy of genuine care. This internal struggle is precisely what the person who uses others counts on, as it keeps their resources, the people they exploit, willing to continue the cycle. One particularly harmful aspect of dealing with someone who only uses others is their knack for creating illusions. They can often maintain the facade of a caring friend, partner, or family member, at least long enough to establish trust and familiarity. They might express sympathy or concern, but these displays are often strategic, aimed at ensuring that the person they're using feels secure and valued. This charade can be incredibly convincing, particularly because they usually reserve their self-centered behavior for moments when they feel secure in the relationship. As a result, the person being used is left with a distorted view, unable to reconcile the moments of apparent kindness with the recurring patterns of neglect or disregard. This dissonance is painful and confusing, as the person being used is continually confronted with conflicting evidence about the nature of the relationship. Moreover, people who only care about using others often lack a genuine sense of gratitude. They might say thank you or acknowledge a favor, but it rarely goes beyond a perfunctory expression. True gratitude involves not only recognizing what someone has done, but also a desire to reciprocate and make the other person feel valued in return. For the person who uses others, such feelings are irrelevant. Instead, they view each favor or act of kindness as an entitlement, something they deserve without question. If they do show appreciation, it's often a superficial gesture designed to keep their resource in place rather than a heartfelt acknowledgement. At the root of this behavior is often a deep-seated insecurity or self-centered worldview. Many who use others without caring about them may struggle with their own self-worth. But instead of facing these insecurities directly, they seek validation and affirmation from those around them. In their minds, the constant flow of attention, admiration, or support serves as a buffer against their own feelings of inadequacy or fear of rejection. However, rather than forging meaningful connections to fulfill this need, they exploit others, taking shortcuts to feel validated without making themselves vulnerable or engaging in genuine reciprocity. Through this process, they become more attuned to the patterns of a healthy, mutually respectful relationship. They understand that real connections involve a balance of giving and taking, where both people feel valued and appreciated. Small gestures, words of kindness, and thoughtful actions are no longer one-sided. They are exchanged freely, creating a sense of partnership that grows and deepens over time. There is an unspoken understanding that neither person is there to use the other, but rather to support, uplift, and walk alongside each other. In their interactions with others, this person has become more compassionate, yet also more discerning. They're capable of extending kindness without feeling obligated to overextend or compromise their own needs. They know that setting boundaries doesn't make them selfish or unkind. It simply means they respect their own emotional energy. This awareness becomes a powerful tool, allowing them to maintain healthy relationships while protecting themselves from individuals who may attempt to take advantage of their kindness. At the same time, their experiences have granted them a deeper empathy for others who may find themselves in similar situations. They are more understanding toward those who may be struggling with boundaries, self-worth, or unbalanced relationships. And while they can relate to those who have felt used or taken for granted, they are also aware of the strength that lies in recognizing and breaking free from such patterns. In conversations with friends, family, or even new acquaintances, they might offer insights or gentle guidance, not as a means of reliving their own past, but as a way of supporting others and finding their own clarity. This person has also gained a new resilience that enables them to weather disappointments and setbacks without becoming disheartened. They know now that the actions of others don't define their worth. If someone they encounter displays selfish or manipulative behavior, they no longer take it personally or feel the need to fix the other person. Instead, they recognize such behaviors for what they are and choose to walk away when necessary, confident in their ability to seek and foster healthier connections elsewhere. In fact, this confidence radiates through all aspects of their life. Their work, friendships, passions, and pursuits are infused with a renewed sense of purpose and fulfillment. They are no longer bound by the need to please or accommodate others at the expense of their own happiness. Instead, they make choices that honor their values, dreams, and well-being, drawing people and opportunities that align with their authentic self. This shift is liberating and expansive, opening doors to experiences that feel genuinely enriching. The change is even noticeable to those around them. Friends, family, and loved ones see the difference: a lightness, a calm assurance that perhaps wasn't there before. They may even notice that this person has become more selective with their time and energy, no longer giving freely to relationships that don't serve their highest good. But those who value and respect them see this change as positive, admiring their strength and the sense of peace they carry. And while some may not fully understand the boundaries they've set, they are respected, creating an environment where genuine connections thrive. With each day, this person grows more comfortable with their independence and self-reliance. They are content with their own company, no longer feeling the need to seek external validation or approval. They've learned that their self-worth isn't defined by the opinions of others, but by their own sense of integrity, kindness, and resilience. This understanding brings them a profound sense of freedom, allowing them to move forward in life with an open heart and a discerning mind. In future relationships, they carry the lessons they've learned, creating bonds that are built on mutual respect, trust, and sincerity. They no longer feel compelled to overgive, over-explain, or prove their worth. Instead, they stand firm in who they are, knowing that true relationships will honor their boundaries, support their growth, and celebrate their unique qualities. This doesn't mean every relationship will be perfect or without challenges, but it does mean that they are equipped to navigate those challenges with wisdom, strength, and a commitment to their own well-being. As they look back on the journey, the pain of being used and undervalued is still there, but it no longer holds power over them. It has become part of their story, a chapter that taught them invaluable lessons and helped shape the person they are today. And with gratitude for the strength they've gained, they move forward, ready to embrace a future filled with relationships that uplift, empower, and reflect the person they have worked so hard to become. The person who once felt broken and betrayed now stands whole, having transformed their wounds into wisdom, their pain into power. In embracing this journey, they have not only healed but have come to embody the very qualities they once sought in others: compassion, respect, authenticity, and love. As they journey forward, life begins to unfold in ways they may have never imagined. The growth they've experienced becomes a magnet for experiences and people that align with their truest self. They've stepped into a version of themselves that feels empowered, resilient, and wholly authentic, and this change draws in connections, opportunities, and insights that resonate with this new chapter. Each day brings small affirmations of their growth, a thoughtful conversation, an unexpected compliment, a peaceful moment alone. These small yet significant moments remind them of how far they've come and affirm their ability to thrive independently. There's a quiet contentment in knowing that their happiness no longer depends on the validation of others. The freedom that comes with this self-reliance is one of life's greatest gifts, and they savor it with gratitude. Over time, they find themselves exploring passions and interests that once felt out of reach. Maybe they pick up a hobby they put off for years, start a new creative project, or pursue a dream that had always been on the back burner. Now, with a stronger sense of self, they embrace these pursuits not as a means to impress others or meet anyone's expectations, but simply for the joy they bring. This openness to new experiences fuels their growth, further strengthening their confidence and expanding their horizons. The people who come into their life now are different too. They're drawn to relationships that feel balanced and respectful, where both parties support and celebrate each other. They become adept at recognizing the early signs of genuine connection: the warmth in someone's words, the consistency in their actions, and the mutual appreciation that forms naturally. These connections feel effortless, unburdened by the doubts and insecurities that once plagued them. With each new relationship, They realize that they no longer have to prove their worth. They simply need to be themselves. Alongside these connections, they find joy in solitude, appreciating the quiet peace that comes with spending time alone. They savor the silence, the moments of reflection, and the freedom to explore their thoughts without the influence of others. This self-awareness brings them a deeper understanding of who they are and what they truly want in life. They no longer seek distractions or the temporary satisfaction that used to fill their days. Instead, they've become content with themselves, grateful for their own company, and at peace with their journey. In moments of reflection, they may look back on the times they were used or mistreated, but these memories now serve as reminders of the strength they've gained. There's a sense of pride in having endured the hardships and having learned the lessons that brought them here. They no longer feel bitterness or resentment. Instead, they feel gratitude for the growth that those experiences catalyzed. They understand that, without those challenges, they may have never discovered the depth of their resilience or the clarity they now carry. This newfound clarity extends to all aspects of their life. They approach challenges with patience and wisdom, trusting that they have the tools to navigate whatever comes their way. Even setbacks or disappointments no longer shake their foundation. They see them as opportunities for growth rather than reflections of their worth. They've cultivated a deep sense of inner peace that remains steady, regardless of the external circumstances. This peace has become a guiding force, allowing them to make choices that honor their values and respect their journey. As they continue to grow, they begin to set goals that align with their true self, guided not by societal expectations or external pressures, but by their own dreams and passions. Their goals are now fueled by a sense of purpose and fulfillment, rooted in the belief that they are worthy of happiness and success on their own terms. This shift in perspective brings them closer to a life that feels truly aligned with who they are, a life that reflects their values, their passions, and their unique strengths. With each step, they move closer to becoming the person they were always meant to be. Someone who is self-assured, compassionate, and unafraid to live authentically. They embody a quiet strength that inspires those around them, serving as a testament to the power of resilience and self-love. Others may see them as a source of support, wisdom, and kindness, drawn to the warmth and stability they exude. Their journey has transformed them, and now they have the capacity to uplift others in ways they once wished to be uplifted themselves. This evolution brings a profound sense of purpose to their life. They recognize that their story, once marked by pain and hardship, has become a source of strength not just for themselves, but for others who may be on similar paths. They become a light for those who are struggling, offering guidance and empathy to anyone who might feel lost or undervalued. Their words, actions, and presence become a testament to the power of healing, showing others that it's possible to rise above the hurt, to reclaim one's sense of worth, and to create a life filled with joy, purpose, and love. In the end, they realize that everything they went through was part of a greater journey of self-discovery. The pain, the challenges, the moments of doubt all were necessary steps on the path to becoming the person they are today. They see their life as a continuous journey, one that will undoubtedly bring more growth, learning, and transformation. But now, they face this journey with unwavering confidence, knowing that they are capable of handling whatever lies ahead. With a heart open to love, a mind clear in its purpose, and a soul resilient in its strength, they walk forward, embracing life fully. They have become the person who no longer needs validation, who no longer fears loneliness, who no longer compromises their self-worth. They are whole, empowered, and ready to live a life that is deeply, authentically, and beautifully their own. And in that truth, they find a peace and fulfillment that no one can ever take away. Yet, the long-term impact of such behavior often backfires. As people recognize the pattern and begin to distance themselves, the person who uses others finds themselves in a cycle of superficial relationships that lack depth, loyalty, or real connection. In their pursuit of personal gain and emotional security, they inadvertently create a world where they're perpetually isolated, surrounded by people who are increasingly wary of their motives and reluctant to invest emotionally. Over time, this leads to a life marked by instability, loneliness, and fractured relationships, the very issues they sought to avoid in the first place. For the person who has been used, the emotional toll often manifests in a multitude of ways: anxiety, feelings of inadequacy, mistrust, and even depression. When someone repeatedly invests in a relationship only to find that their efforts are unreciprocated, they're left with a void where there should have been growth, joy, and mutual support. It's difficult not to internalize the treatment they receive, wondering if something about them warrants such disregard. This self-doubt becomes a toxic cycle as they replay interactions, searching for signs they missed or mistakes they might have made. But over time, as the pain and disillusionment grow too great to ignore, a turning point often arrives. The realization dawns. This person has not only been taking advantage of their kindness, but has perhaps even unwittingly been robbing them of their self-worth. For some, this realization is a slow, dawning awareness, an understanding that builds piece by piece. For others, it may hit like a sudden revelation, a moment when they can no longer deny the truth. In either case, it's often accompanied by a profound sense of loss, not just of the relationship, but of the time, energy, and emotional investment they gave so freely, hoping for something real. Once this clarity sets in, the journey to healing and reclaiming one's sense of worth begins. But it's not an easy path. First, the person must grapple with feelings of betrayal, anger, and sadness. Anger at the person who used them, yes, but often just as much anger at themselves for not recognizing the signs sooner. This can be particularly difficult because, in most cases, they trusted this person, perhaps even loved them deeply. The thought that someone they cared about could view them in such a transactional way is painful and bewildering. They may question their own judgment, fearing they'll fall into similar traps in the future. But as difficult as this healing journey is, it's also an opportunity for growth. In learning to move forward, the person gains invaluable insights into the dynamics of healthy relationships. They begin to recognize the warning signs they previously missed: the superficial compliments, the inconsistent support, the patterns of manipulation. They become more attuned to genuine kindness, learning to appreciate the qualities that define authentic, reciprocal relationships: empathy, vulnerability, respect, and mutual care. They realize that a true connection doesn't hinge on what one person can take, but on what each person can give, not just in material terms, but in emotional investment, time, and sincerity. With time, they may even come to forgive the person who used them, not as an act of condoning the behavior, but as a way of releasing the hold that resentment and hurt have over their life. Forgiveness in this context becomes less about the other person and more about freeing themselves from the lingering shadows of the past. In choosing to forgive, they reclaim their power, acknowledging that while they may have been treated unfairly, they don't need to carry the bitterness forward. For the person who used others without caring, however, life may not offer the same growth. If they never confront their own patterns, they're likely to continue seeking relationships built on exploitation, repeatedly facing loneliness, mistrust, and disconnection. Because, at its core, using others is a hollow existence. Relationships based on self-interest lack the depth that can only be cultivated through mutual care. Without vulnerability and a willingness to see others as more than just tools, they find themselves in a revolving door of acquaintances, unable to forge lasting bonds. The impact of their behavior, while damaging to those they exploit, ultimately isolates them. As more people recognize the pattern, they may begin to distance themselves, leaving the user with fewer and fewer connections. And unless they are willing to confront the emptiness of their approach and the toll it takes on those around them, they are likely to continue the cycle, forever seeking but never truly finding fulfillment. For those who have emerged from such relationships, the lesson is often one of resilience and self-discovery. They learn that their value is not defined by what they can give to someone else or how much they are willing to endure. They discover the strength to set boundaries, to prioritize their own well-being, and to recognize their own worth outside the confines of another person's approval. And while the scars of being used may never fully fade, they serve as reminders of the lessons learned and the resilience forged in the process. In the end, the experience becomes a stepping stone toward healthier, more balanced relationships. Through their journey, they come to understand that true connection is based on mutual respect and shared empathy. They realize that they deserve to be surrounded by people who value them not for what they can provide, but for who they are. And with this newfound awareness, they move forward with a clearer sense of self, wiser, stronger, and ready to forge connections that uplift and empower them. In this way, the journey through pain becomes a path to profound personal transformation, one that leads them toward a brighter, more fulfilling future, free from the shadows of manipulation and insincerity. And through it all, they emerge not only as survivors, but as individuals who have reclaimed their lives, their worth, and their ability to love and trust on their own terms. As they walk forward from this transformation, they step into a new chapter filled with a sense of empowerment and clarity they may never have felt before. Relationships now come with a different lens of perspective shaped by hard-won insights and a commitment to authenticity. They've learned to recognize when someone is interested in them for who they truly are versus when someone is seeking only what they can provide. They've learned to pause, listen to their instincts, and respect their own boundaries without feeling guilty or questioning their worth. The shift within them is profound, impacting not just relationships but how they approach life as a whole. This newfound awareness and strength foster a deeper sense of self-respect. No longer are they willing to sacrifice their needs for validation or acceptance. Instead, they embrace a more balanced approach to relationships, one where they give and receive in equal measure. This doesn't mean they've closed themselves off to vulnerability. Rather, they've learned that true vulnerability involves both strength and discernment. It means opening up when it feels safe and when trust has been earned, not as a means to gain approval or avoid rejection. Alongside these connections, they find joy in solitude, appreciating the quiet peace that comes with spending time alone. They savor the silence, the moments of reflection, and the freedom to explore their thoughts without the influence of others. This self-awareness brings them a deeper understanding of who they are and what they truly want in life. They no longer seek distractions or the temporary satisfaction that used to fill their days. Instead, they've become content with themselves, grateful for their own company, and at peace with their journey. In moments of reflection, they may look back on the times they were used or mistreated, but these memories now serve as reminders of the strength they've gained. There's a sense of pride in having endured the hardships and having learned the lessons that brought them here. They no longer feel bitterness or resentment. Instead, they feel gratitude for the growth that those experiences catalyzed. They understand that, without those challenges, they may have never discovered the depth of their resilience or the clarity they now carry. This newfound clarity extends to all aspects of their life. They approach challenges with patience and wisdom, trusting that they have the tools to navigate whatever comes their way. Even setbacks or disappointments no longer shake their foundation. They see them as opportunities for growth rather than reflections of their worth. They've cultivated a deep sense of inner peace that remains steady, regardless of the external circumstances. This peace has become a guiding force, allowing them to make choices that honor their values and respect their journey. As they continue to grow, they begin to set goals that align with their true self, guided not by societal expectations or external pressures, but by their own dreams and passions. Their goals are now fueled by a sense of purpose and fulfillment, rooted in the belief that they are worthy of happiness and success on their own terms. This shift in perspective brings them closer to a life that feels truly aligned with who they are, a life that reflects their values, their passions, and their unique strengths. With each step, they move closer to becoming the person they were always meant to be. Someone who is self-assured, compassionate, and unafraid to live authentically. They embody a quiet strength that inspires those around them, serving as a testament to the power of resilience and self-love. Others may see them as a source of support, wisdom, and kindness, drawn to the warmth and stability they exude. Their journey has transformed them, and now they have the capacity to uplift others in ways they once wished to be uplifted themselves. This evolution brings a profound sense of purpose to their life. They recognize that their story, once marked by pain and hardship, has become a source of strength not just for themselves, but for others who may be on similar paths. They become a light for those who are struggling, offering guidance and empathy to anyone who might feel lost or undervalued. Their words, actions, and presence become a testament to the power of healing, showing others that it's possible to rise above the hurt, to reclaim one's sense of worth, and to create a life filled with joy, purpose, and love. In the end, they realized that everything they went through was part of a greater journey of self-discovery. The pain, the challenges, the moments of doubt all were necessary steps on the path to becoming the person they are today. They see their life as a continuous journey, one that will undoubtedly bring more growth, learning, and transformation. But now, they face this journey with unwavering confidence, knowing that they are capable of handling whatever lies ahead. With a heart open to love, a mind clear in its purpose, and a soul resilient in its strength, they walk forward, embracing life fully. They have become the person who no longer needs validation, who no longer fears loneliness, who no longer compromises their self-worth. They are whole, empowered, and ready to live a life that is deeply, authentically, and beautifully their own. And in that truth, they find a peace and fulfillment that no one can ever take away.